Welcome to Jets Chaos, episode 3,
which is quarterback 8.
quarterback 8. In our series where we're rating the top 10 choices, our top 10 choices for new quarterback for the New York Jets. And of course, we're going backwards. We already did 10 and 9, and now we're at number 8, the number 8 quarterback that we'd like to see or believe could be a good fit for the New York Jets.
And this is going to surprise a lot of people because I think a lot of people had this much higher, but to us, there's just so much pain associated with it. So much could go wrong that we felt this is as high as we could go. If the other 7 quarterback solutions fail, we would take
Lamar Jackson.
We would.
Now here's like the major issue with Lamar Jackson is obviously availability. It doesn't look like he's really available realistically. Baltimore has every intent of signing him, and if they don't, they're going to franchise him. But we did discuss the possibility of what if we picked up the phone and we called Baltimore and said, "Hey, it looks like you're having a hard time negotiating with him. How about we give you 3 first-round draft picks?"
And we think that there is a chance that they are having a hard time. There's a chance, and that the right trade would make them do it. The question is, do we really want to part with 3 first-round draft picks?
The amount of resources it would take to get him, and don't get me wrong, he's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, we love this guy. I mean, he's an incredible talent. It's a dream. If we drafted a quarterback and he turns out to be Lamar Jackson,
oh my God!
I mean, I'd be the
yes.
top 5 quarterback in the NFL.
Yes,
without argument. But, and here's the but. You talk about the possible contract of being like 5 years, $50 million a year. That's an incredibly high salary number. And then when you combine that with 3 first-round draft picks, you're talking about having to immediately we'd be letting players go. Guys like Carl Lawson, gone. Corey Davis, gone. Whitehead, gone. Not that he's been great, but we'd have to cut guys we didn't even think about cutting to free up the salary cap to make this even possible.
And not only gone, but we wouldn't be able to sign new people like that. We'd basically be able to keep our rookie classes because they're low salary for at least for a little bit. We'd be able to keep them for a couple of years, and we'd be able to have Lamar Jackson. That's all that we'd have.
And we wouldn't have our first round pick.
Yes.
For the next 3 years, for this year, the next year, and the next year, to replace any of this.
Yeah, so we wouldn't have these future stars like we have with Garrett Wilson and like we have with Breece Hall. We wouldn't have any of that. Now, we would love having Lamar Jackson, but the cost is just so high that it seems unlikely we'd ever be able to really land a Super Bowl. We'd always be competitive, but not competitive enough.
Now, a lot of people would argue, and they're right, Lamar Jackson makes us a playoff team, even with those holes, even with those issues, playoff team. Best quarterback to ever put on our uniform. I feel very confident saying that. Yes. Lamar dresses, it's the best. I mean, Brett Favre, I don't count. It was a 10-game rental. He got hurt, but not counting that. But as far as having a long-term quarterback for the team, 5 years of quarterback, he is by far and easily the best quarterback that would ever put on a Jets uniform. But the reality is, when you look at what we're left as far as the salary, the money for salary cap, and the hit on draft picks, and what our roster would look like, is that roster any better than the roster the Ravens have put around him for the last 5 years of his career, 4 or 5 years? Because the reality is they haven't won a Super Bowl. I think they've only won 1 playoff game. So is that what we're looking for? We're going to make it to the playoffs and then lose in the playoffs in the first game or second game of the playoffs. Is that what we want? We have no real opportunity to grow the team and get better for a few years. We're going to be, basically have handcuffs on.
And that's why he's at number 8, because there's 7 better scenarios in our opinion. And we want you to check out those scenarios because they're up and coming.
And to do that, it helps to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, because then it will tell you when the new videos are released. And you can do that by clicking right over there on my bald head.
So go ahead and like this video and then watch the number 9 and number 10 best scenarios that we talked about previously.
Yes.
And go
Go
Jets.
Jets.